Evening, everyone. Welcome to Vimeo number 7 on the Cold War. Now, the next few Vimeos are all on the second topic for you in the Cold War. And we are looking at 3 episodes, 3 events which caused problems in the Cold War. 3 crises. The first one we're looking at is Berlin. The second one we are looking at will be the Cuban Missile Crisis, and the third event will be Czechoslovakia. 3 key events showing relations between USA and USSR. And we're starting tonight, ladies and gentlemen, with the crisis in Berlin, 1958 to 1961. Now, let's have a think. Hopefully, if you've looked at some of the earlier Vimeos, or if you've done your revision from your lessons, Berlin and Germany caused big problems at the end of World War II. We had the American Army versus the Russian Red Army, the 2 superpowers facing each other in Berlin, in Germany, and they did not know what to do. And as we know, they decided in the end to divide Berlin and to divide Germany. And we've seen the emergence of 2 Germanys. West Germany linked with the capitalist West, and East Germany linked with the communist East. So this had been a problem all the way from the end of World War II, 1945. What we are going to look at today is this. Many of the people in East Germany looked at the life on offer in West Germany and thought, that is better. Remember, West Germany was receiving money from the Marshall Plan. It was being renovated and rebuilt after World War II. It was a richer place to live. Now, many of the people living in East Germany, many of whom were highly skilled, thought to themselves, well, why don't we move? Why don't we go to West Berlin, and then we can make our way to West Germany and we can lead a better life? So from 1949 to 1961, 2.7 million people left East Germany. Sometimes it was running at 20,000 a month or more. Well, how would America react to this? Hooray! People want our way of life. They're coming across. How would the Russians react? Boo! We're angry. People are running away from communism. You could argue it was a propaganda disaster for this man, Nikita Khrushchev, leader of the USSR. Khrushchev did not want the world to see people running away from communism towards capitalism. What could he do about it? Have a think. You're Khrushchev. What can you do about this problem? Well, this is what he did. He set a time limit of 6 months, an ultimatum, and he said to the West, to America in particular, President Eisenhower, you've got 6 months to remove all your soldiers from West Berlin. Now, Eisenhower did not want to back down, but he did not want to cause a war either. So what could Eisenhower do? He said, I know what we'll do. We'll plan some meetings to discuss the problem. And in May 1959, the American officials met the Russian officials, not the 2 top people, not Eisenhower and Khrushchev, no. It's the people below saying, let's have a meeting and let's plan another meeting when Khrushchev and Eisenhower can meet each other. And that first meeting, May 59, took place in Geneva, called the Geneva Summit. A preparation for meeting number 2. Meeting number 2, September 59, held at a place called Camp David which is part of the president's special retreat in America. And at Camp David, yes, Khrushchev met Eisenhower, and they had very honest and frank talks. They did not agree, but they met each other. And they said, look, we'll agree to another meeting. Let's keep talking. We don't want to be arguing. We don't want to fight a war. Let's keep talking. Camp David. As a bit of an incentive, Khrushchev said, I'll tell you what, I will withdraw the 6-month ultimatum. You do not have to take your troops out within 6 months. So that was quite a hopeful sign. And they planned their third meeting. Paris, the Paris Summit, May 1960. Now, ladies and gentlemen, things seem to be going quite well. Geneva, let's make our preparations. Camp David, let's meet. Let's have another meeting. Paris, things are going quite well. Good, you might say. Disaster! The Paris Summit, May 1960, was a disastrous meeting. Do you know why? Well, here's the situation. Just before the meeting, an American spy plane, the U-2, came down over Soviet territory. The pilot, Gary Powers, was captured. The Russians had their hands on an American spy plane. Now, at first, America denied it. Oh, we're not spying, blah, blah, blah. But the Russians had all the evidence. And the Russians were able to say to the world, look, here's the evidence. America has been spying on us. It was a propaganda coup for Khrushchev and the Russians. Khrushchev says to Eisenhower, you must apologize for spying on us. Eisenhower will never apologize, not in front of the whole world. Couldn't be seen to lose face to the Russians. So therefore, Khrushchev walked out of the meeting. The Paris summit was a total disaster because of the spy plane. There was a complete lack of trust between the two countries. America was made to look quite bad in the eyes of the rest of the world. They're the people who had probably messed up the meeting. Relations between the two countries not going so well after Paris. Then we get the election of a new American president. President John Fitzgerald Kennedy, JFK. There he is. He was only president for 3 years before he was assassinated, November 1963. But he played a huge part in the Cold War. Now, January 1961, there is the fourth meeting between America and Russia at this time, all to do with the Berlin crisis. This time the meeting is in Vienna, the Vienna Conference. Now, Khrushchev, he's been in charge since 1956. Kennedy, he's just been in charge a couple of months. Two men, the two most important people on the planet. Khrushchev thought he could bully Kennedy. He's a new fella, he doesn't know what he's doing. I'm going to show him who's boss, says Khrushchev. He thinks he can bully JFK, the new boy. So Khrushchev says, right, I'm going to reintroduce the 6 months. Kennedy, you've got 6 months to get your troops out of West Berlin. I'm giving you a warning. I'm giving you an ultimatum. Thinking that Kennedy will back down. But Kennedy doesn't back down. He refuses to be bullied. And he says, I'm not going to take the troops out. In fact, I'm going to spend $3 billion on more weapons. How about that, Khrushchev? I'm going to spend over $200 million building nuclear fallout shelters in case there's a war. We're going to be ready. What message is Kennedy sending to Khrushchev? I'm not going to be bullied. So, as we move to 1961, we get stalemate. Relations between the two superpowers, all caused by Berlin and the people trying to move out of East Germany. Relations between the two superpowers are not good. They've reached a stalemate. Both sides are refusing to back down. Both sides don't want a war. Question: what is going to happen next? What is Khrushchev going to do about the problem in Berlin? He cannot allow millions of people to move out. It was too bad. It made the communists look poor and bad. What is his answer going to be? Check out the next Vimeo, Vimeo number 8, and we'll get the answer. All the best. Speak to you soon. Take care.